portions, no?
Yes, and it is deleted, no?
Vitamins, hormones deleted.
Enzymes and hormones.
Vitamins and hormones deleted. So I will finish off structure of proteins, then do nucleic acids and finish it off. That's all.
I'll take only one class, no, auntie?
That's like only one class. Because
okay.
protein synthesis is there. Biology student, they know it. Okay, they not much is there, but normally in detail they don't ask. Whatever they ask, I will tell you. That structures and all I will teach you properly. That's more important.
Okay, auntie.
Now you know that you take any solid, it will have lot of unit cells. And unit cells, it will have lattice sites, and each particular ion or atom is present at a particular lattice site. So what happens is that whenever you grow a crystal, you prepare a solid substance. However, actually, if the rate of growth is very fast, they will not get that proper time to arrange themselves in the proper sites, proper places. So there will be deviation from the regular arrangement in the whole of the crystal. Okay, even if you grow crystal at a very, very slow rate, even then there will be either an impurity or due to they absorb heat from the surroundings, there will be imperfections. To grow a proper crystal, if you get a perfect crystal, there is no perfect crystal. According to third law of the thermodynamics, it says that perfect arrangement happens only at 0 Kelvin. It's not possible at all, he says. So they absorb heat from the surroundings and there will be deviation from the perfect order. Okay, so any deviation from the perfect regular arrangement, you call it as a defect or an imperfection. Okay, and now if the imperfection happens around a lattice point, lattice site, particular around an atom or an ion, you call it as a point defect. If it happens in the entire row, you call it as line defect. There are two types of defects. One, point defect. Point defect means what? It happens around a particular site. You call it as point defect. If it happens along an entire row, you call it as a line defect. For you are studying only the point defects. Okay. So, now point defects are of three types. Point defects are of three types. One, stoichiometric defect. Two, non-stoichiometric defect. Three, impurity defect. I write it here. So, you are studying only the point defects. Point defects. Under point defect, you have three: stoichiometric defect. I will explain everything. Don't worry. Stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect, third, impurity defect. I will give you in the form of a chart. It will be very easy to understand. Okay. So, now what do you mean by a stoichiometric defect? Stoichiometric defect means if you have two ions, cation, anion, in the stoichiometric defect, whatever the formula is, that proportion is maintained in the structure. Okay, so the number of cations and anions are exactly like what they are in the chemical formula. That defect you call it a stoichiometric defect. Non-stoichiometric means you write a particular formula, but exactly the number of cations and anions will not be exactly according to the formula written. There will be, I will tell you, I will explain that. There will be a small difference in the ratio between the two. So that is non-stoichiometric. Impurity means we add an impurity to modify the properties, to enhance the properties of the crystal solid. That is impurity defect. So now first we will study stoichiometric defect. If you want, you can just write down whatever I write on the board at least. Okay? You just write down whatever I write on the board. In detail, I'll send you the notes, but just write it down. So, stoichiometric defect means you maintain the ratio between the cation and the anion properly. Stoichion means element, metry means measurement. Element measurement will be exactly the same. That's what it means. Now, under stoichiometric defect can arise both in non-ionic solids and ionic solids. So, non-ionic solids, it can arise, and ionic solids also it can arise. Write down this chart. Ionic solids also it can arise. Now, and both of them, there are two types in both of them. There are two types in both of them. What are the two types? Now, non-ionic solids, sometimes what happens, you have atoms, okay, at a particular distance, you have the edge length, everything. Sometimes what happens is that some atoms are missing from their lattice sites. Okay, they are missing from the lattice sites. So it is called as vacancy defect. There is a vacancy created in that place. Okay, this is called as vacancy defect. There are some host atoms missing from the lattice site. Now, because of the vacancy, that is, there will be less number of atoms per unit volume of the crystal, density will decrease. Because mass decreases, volume remains the same, mass decreases, and hence density will decrease. Here, density decreases. Density decreases. Now, second is interstitial defect. Interstitial defect. What does that mean? Interstitial defect, what does that mean? Sometimes what happens, the atoms are not present at their particular lattice site. Okay, now see, you have a like this. Okay, you have the particular lattice. Sometimes what happens is that the atoms are present here. These spaces, that is in between spaces, are called as interstices. Some atoms, extra atoms, are present in the interstices. Okay, not so many. Few atoms are present at the interstices. So, in interstitial defect, apart from the host atoms, some extra atoms are present at the interstices. So, because of this, density increases. Because mass increases per unit volume, so density will increase. Okay, so non-ionic solid show two types of defects: vacancy defect, interstitial defect. Here, some atoms are missing from its site, so density decreases. Here, some extra atoms are present at the interstices, so density increases. Both will occur in the non-ionic solids. Now, same defects occur in the ionic solids. Okay, so you have, for example, A plus B minus, like that. A plus B minus, you have like this. Okay, sometimes what happens is that equal number of cations and anions are missing from their sites. Electrical neutrality has to be maintained. So, how many cations are missed? so many anions are also missed. It is like vacancy defect. This is called as Schottky defect. Schottky defect in ionic solids. In ionic solids, this is called as Schottky defect. Okay. Now, here also, like vacancy defect, density decreases. Density decreases. In Schottky defect, density decreases. Okay. Now, this is shown by ionic solids having high coordination. This is very important. This is shown by ionic solids having high coordination number and small difference in the sizes of the cations and the anions. Small difference in the sizes of cations and the anions. Example will be NaCl, KCl, CSCl, all that. 6, 8, they will have coordination number high. So, they will show the Schottky defect. What is Schottky defect? Schottky defect is the one here. Equal number of cations and anions are missing from their places. So that there is a vacancy created, hole created there. Because of this, this is all 1 mark questions. Density will decrease. And this is shown by ionic solids having high coordination number, small difference in the sizes. Okay, small difference in the sizes. Comparatively, the alkali metals have the largest size. So that the sizes are comparable and they show the Schottky defect. Another defect called as Frenkel defect. What is Frenkel defect means? Here you have, for example, you have a crystal A plus B minus like that. What happens is that sometimes the cation will be missing from its place and it will be present at the interstitial space. Okay, actually wherever it has to be present, it will be missing from its place and it is present at the interstitial space. So, here what happens is that it is not absolutely missing. It is not less number of cations and anions. It is there, but it is present in the interstitial site. So, because of this, what happens? Density is not affected. Density remains same. Density remains same in Frenkel defect, but the normally what happens? You know that you have cations and anions. Cations are smaller in size than anions because anions you are adding an electron, ion expands, cation you are reducing an electron, it shrinks. So normally cations are present at the interstitial sites. Cations are present at the interstitial sites. And very important is that here this is shown by the ionic compounds having low coordination number and large difference in the sizes of cations and the anions. Okay, what are the points to be remembered? Density remains same and ionic solid having low coordination number and large difference in the sizes of the cations and anion they show. All silver salts AgCl, AgBr, Agi and ZnS show this defect. And is there any, very important question, is there any ionic solid which shows both Schottky and Frenkel defect? Yes, AgBr. Remember this. AgBr is an ionic solid which shows both Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. Okay, so Frankel defect is shown by compounds having low coordination number, large difference in the sizes of the cations and anions. See, what happens in Frankel defect is that, see, cation will come closer. So it will have high dielectric constant. And one more thing, what happens, because a hole is created, vacancy is created, some other cation, just a minute. Hello? Tell me, sir. ಹೇಳಿ sir. Sir, actually, purpose of the ಅದು ನನ್ನ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಅವನೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. Sorry for that. Okay, so what happens, because of that hole, another cation from another place can shift to this place. Okay, the hole created there, and a cation from another place can shift to that place, move. Because of that, it can conduct electricity. This is important. It can conduct electricity. And one more thing is that it will have high dielectric constant. Because the cation it comes closer, it will have high dielectric constant. But the problem is, because of the hole, the stability of the crystal decreases. Because there is a vacancy there, in Frankel defect, what happens? Stability decreases. Okay, it can conduct electricity to a small extent. Stability decreases, and it will have high dielectric constant because same charges come close together. Okay, and you have to remember this. All NaCl, KCl, all of them, they show Schottky defect. AgBr, all silver salts show Frankel defect. AgBr is one ionic solid which shows both Schottky and Frankel defect. This you have to know. Okay, understood? This is clear? Stoichiometric defect clear?
Clear, aunty.
Clear. Okay, now we will study the non-stoichiometric defect. Okay, you just write down the chart, whatever I am writing. I will give you the detailed notes later. Okay. Now non-stoichiometric defect. Non-stoichiometric defect means what? It will not have the ratio of the atoms as indicated by the chemical formula. There will be a small difference. Okay, so this can happen either when there is metal excess or metal deficiency. For example, you have iron oxide or iron sulfide, nickel sulfide, whatever it is. Sometimes what happens, number of iron atoms expected for every oxide ion will be less than whatever I expect. Okay, and it can also have metal deficiency and metal excess. Both it can have. Okay, sometimes the metal atoms can be more, or sometimes metal atoms can be less. How? We are going to see that. In detail, we are going to see that. It's very interesting to study this. Non-stoichiometric defects. Okay, non-stoichiometric defect means it's not according to the formula. Okay, so how? It can happen either by metal excess or by metal deficiency. I am going to explain everything. Wherever you don't follow, you can ask me. My metal excess or metal deficiency. Now, metal excess can be created in two ways. Metal excess defect can happen in two ways. Either by anion vacancies. See, what do you mean by this? By anion vacancies. For example, you have sodium chloride crystal. Okay, you have sodium chloride crystal. You have Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, everything like this. Imagine you have a complete structure like this. Okay. Now, what happens is that here what happens, if you heat this sodium chloride crystal in an atmosphere of sodium vapor, you are going to heat this in an atmosphere of sodium. Here in anion vacancies, what happens is that a negative ion will be missing from its place. So, if you understand the example, you will understand it better. So, if you take sodium chloride crystal and heat it in sodium vapor, the chloride ion from its place, it will move to the sodium place. There, what happens? This chloride ion will react with sodium ion. So, it will make it lose one electron. One electron is lost by sodium ion to form sodium chloride, and that electron lost, it will diffuse and it will occupy this place. Okay. So, in anion vacancy, what happens? A negative ion is missing from its place, and in the place of an anion, an electron will be present for the electrical neutrality. Electrical neutrality is maintained. For the electrical balance, you will have an electron here. What is the consequence of this means? What happens is that when light falls on such crystals, the electron here can jump to higher energy level, and when it comes back, it emits wavelength in the visible region. So, these centers, they impart color to the crystal. They impart color to the crystal. They are called as Farb centers, F centers. In German, Farb means color. Okay, the impart color, so they are called as F. What are F centers, they ask? Okay, F centers are places where instead of an anion, you will have an electron. That electron will, when light falls on it, it gets excited. While coming back, it will emit in the visible region, so that it will impart color. That is why sodium ions, they appear. Sodium chloride crystal appears. Sodium ions impart yellow to sodium chloride, and lithium will be pink. Potassium salts will be violet. Because of that only. You will observe that in the lab when you do the flame test. When you do the flame test, you will observe, because you are heating it. You mix in the flame test. What you do? You take the solid and you make a paste with concentrated HCl, and if you hold it into the flame, you will observe the color. Okay, the color is due to the excitation of this electron. So, by anion vacancies, this defect is created. This defect is created, and because there is a shortage in the number of anion, it is a non-stoichiometric defect. It's a non-stoichiometric defect. Now, this is one. Another case, what happens? Some extra cations are occupied in the interstitial state. Second type. In the second type, for example, what happens? You take zinc oxide. When you heat zinc oxide, you will have zinc ion, oxygen, and 2 electrons. In this, what happens? You will have A plus B minus, like that. You will have A plus B minus. And here what happens is that a cation will be missing from its place, and it is present at the interstitial site. Okay, so what happened? It is not missing. Actually, when you heat it, you will get this decomposes, giving Zn2 plus ion. That ion will be present at the interstitial site, and to maintain the electrical neutrality, electron is present at the adjacent interstitial site. Okay, here what happens in the extra by presence of extra cations in the interstitial sites. So here is also, it is also metal excess. This is also metal excess. This is also metal excess. Why this is metal excess here? Because you are reducing anions. Here why it is metal excess? Because extra cations are present at the interstitial sites. So extra cations are present at the interstitial sites, and to maintain the electrical balance, you have equal number of electrons at the adjacent interstitial sites. Okay, so they come under non-stoichiometric defect. Okay, non-stoichiometric defects means there are two types. One, anion vacancy. In the present place of an anion, you will have an electron that is called as F center. F center means color. It imparts color to the crystal. Okay. In second type here is by having extra cations at interstitial sites. Good evening, Rohit.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, so by having extra cations at the we are discussing the defects. We finished stoichiometric defects and we are doing non-stoichiometric defects. So both these anion vacancy, that is F centers, that is having electrons, and extra cations, and to maintain the electrical balance, you will have electrons in the interstitial sites. Both of them have extra electrons. Because of that, they conduct electrical. So they are used as semiconductors. Okay, both these defects. So both these come under metal excess defects. Okay, now metal deficiency defect. What do you mean by metal deficiency? Very interesting. See, if you have, for example, a metal having two oxidation states, for example, +1 and +2. If you have two oxidation states, what happens is that you will have, for example, the anion, you have the anion M plus A minus, like that. Some place, what happens, this M plus is missing from its place. Okay, M plus will be missing from its place. 2M plus will be missing, and instead of that, you will have M2 plus 1 ion. There will be, instead of 2 ions over here in the lower oxidation state, 1 ion in the higher oxidation state will be present. Here there will be deficiency of the metal. That is why it is called as metal. You have a problem wherein you calculate the, I will work out the problem. There are problems on how many percentage of deficiency, how to calculate that. That I will teach you. So metal deficiency means it is shown by metals which have more than one oxidation state. So you maintain the electrical neutrality. So if it has +1 and +2, for example, you miss 2 plus 1 ions, and instead of that you will have 1 plus 2 ion. For best example is iron oxide. Iron oxide, never you will get 1:1. We always write FeXO, X is 0.93 to 0.96. Always it will be less than whatever is required, whatever is expected. This is called as metal deficiency effect. Okay, you just write down the chart. Just like that only you write down the chart. Okay, so this is about non-stoichiometric defect. Here, why it is non-stoichiometric? You are not maintaining the ideal chemical formula. You are not maintaining it. That is why it is non-stoichiometric defect. Okay, so this is non-stoichiometric defect. Now, third is impurity defects. This is also very important. Impurity defects. Now here impurity defect means impurity defects is also two types. Okay, impurity defects is also two types. In the impurity defects, the impurity ion, exactly like what I said. For example, you have Na plus Cl minus. You have Na plus Cl minus continuously like this. Now, what you do is, instead of 2 Na plus, you can have one strontium ion. You remove 2 Na plus ions from their place. You take molten sodium chloride and mix it with strontium chloride. One strontium chloride will replace 2 sodium ions. It's an impurity added. These are added to enhance their properties. Addition of impurity to a solid substance, you call it as doping. Doping is purposely done to enhance the properties, modify the properties. Okay, so in that you can have two types. One, from the lattice site you miss 2 ions. Instead of that you will have 1 ion. Or you can have atoms like iron atoms. You have iron atoms in between the iron atom, that is at the interstitial sites you can have carbon atoms. That is how you get steam, carbide. Carbides, nitrides, borides of iron, all these are obtained by the addition of impurity atoms at the interstitial sites, interstitial positions. So this depends on the electronic structure, whereas this depends on the size of the impurity. Normally second period atoms only are added because they are smaller in size. Boron, carbon, nitrogen, like that. They are added. Okay. This type of solids are called as substitutional solid solutions. These are called as interstitial solid solutions. Okay. These are called interstitial solid solutions. These are called substitutional solid, because you are substituting two. See this here impurity substitutional solid solutions, and you can have interstitial solid solutions. Substitutional solid solutions happens in ionic solids. All these small points only you have to know. So interstitial solid solutions happens in covalent compounds. Normally neutral atoms, rather neutral atoms. So in impurity, that is by the addition of an impurity either you add or already present, this defect is created. You disturb the arrangement, proper arrangement. So in that you will have two types, substitutional and interstitial. Normally this occurs in ionic solids. For example, when you take molten sodium, mix it with strontium chloride and allow it to cool, strontium will occupy the places of sodium. That is, instead of 2 you will have 1 strontium. Okay, so you create a hole over here. So this is one defect, and because of these holes the electrical conductivity is enhanced. Always holes move towards anode, so it will enhance the electrical conductivity. And in covalent compounds, they occupy, smaller atoms occupy the interstitial sites. They impart different colors, hardness, brittleness, whatever it is. They impart different properties to the structure, okay, the compounds. So this is about the impurity defects. Now what happens in the covalent solids? You can add an impurity. As I told you, you add the impurity, which is called as doping. Doping can be done in two ways. One, either you add an atom which is having extra electron, or you can add an atom which is having less number of electrons. Best example is what they do in semiconductors, that is silicon. Silicon is having valency 4, tetravalent like carbon. It comes below carbon. So what you do is either you add group 13 elements like boron, aluminium, all that, which is having 3 valence electrons, or you can add elements having 5 like phosphorus, okay, arsenic, phosphorus, nitrogen family. If you add them, they will have 5 electrons. So what happens here, either you can have, if you add a boron, when you add boron, they will take the places of silicon atoms, few places. So they will form bonds with the adjacent silicon atoms, and because they have only 3 electrons, a hole is created. And this hole is filled by the electron from the adjacent silicon atom. It will occupy here. And again a hole is created here. And again an electron from adjacent silicon can move here. Because of that, when you apply an electric field, holes move in one side and electrons move in the opposite side. So here there is a deficiency of one electron. It is electrical conductivity is due to the movement of holes, which are considered to be positively charged. It is called as p-type semiconductor. P-type semiconductor. And if you add an atom having pentavalent, one electron will be extra. These electrons, they conduct electric current. They move, when you apply an electric field, they move and they carry current. So they are called as N-type. Because negative electrons are carrying current, they are called as N-type semiconductors. Okay, so you can have P-type. These are called electronic defects. In covalent compound, they are also called as electronic defects. I think you study more about it in physics. So either you can add a trivalent impurity or pentavalent impurity to a tetravalent compound, tetravalent metal. Okay, so you enhance the properties. It will increase the electrical conductivity. And the properties you are not studying in detail, how it is actually happens. That conduction band, valence band, how it happens, you are not actually studying magnetic and electrical properties, but this is how it happens. Okay, this is about the defects in the ionic solids. I mean all the total you are studying in the solids. So what are the defects? Stoichiometric, non-stoichiometric and impurity. Stoichiometric, you have non-ionic solids, ionic solids. In non-ionic solids, vacancy, interstitial defect. Same thing, same in ionic you call it as Schottky and Frenkel defect. Okay, and you have to know the examples, and Schottky and Frenkel very important. In Schottky what happens? Density decreases, Frenkel density remains same. Because they are present not at their site but at the interstitial position. So density remains the same. And examples, silver bromide shows both Schottky and Frenkel defect. Okay, and non-stoichiometric, metal excess, metal deficiency. In metal excess can be created either by anion vacancy or by having extra cations at the interstitial sites. And metal deficiency, it is shown by atoms which show variable oxidation states. And impurity defects, you add an impurity. Okay, so either they occupy the lattice site like substitutional, or they can occupy the interstitial sites. For example, carbide of iron, that is steel, in steel. Okay, that process you call it as doping. Okay, so in covalent compounds, this is very important because you increase the properties of the substance either by adding a trivalent or a pentavalent impurity. Accordingly, you get P-type or N-type compounds, semiconductors. Okay, did you understand this? Impurities, defects.
Yes, auntie.
Okay, so now actually this finishes the uh, chapter as such, but we have to learn a lot about the structures, and as I told you about the problems on how many octahedral voids filled, tetrahedral voids filled, all that we have to do. Okay, so we will just do few problems. Last class I did about few problems on, I think Krupa was Bharadwaj Krupa, they were there about the edge and PCC, FCC, and about the edge of the unit cell. All that formula I gave that table, and we did that. Okay, we'll continue from there. We'll do few problems, and then then we will do problems on radius ratio. As I told you, I gave you, you remember the radius ratio chart?
Yes, auntie, it's there.
You remember? Krupa?
Yes, auntie.
So if you know the radius ratio range, you should know the coordination number, you should know the structure. You should be able to predict. That's very definite question in CET. Definite question. Okay, so we will do that, and before that we have to do on problems on what is the percentage of octahedral voids and tetrahedral voids filled, knowing the chemical, that we will do. Okay, so we will just do 2 or 3 about that edge length, radius, and dA and R. D is the distance between the neighboring atoms. That we will do 2-3 problems, and then we'll start with octahedral and tetrahedral voids. Okay, and very important here is they give the questions we were doing actually, that is related from the syllabus. Very important is that how many particles per unit cell they ask. Few crystals, NaCl, CS. I'll calculate that and I'll show you. That's very definite question, I tell you. That's not clearly given in the textbook. I'll calculate that and show you how it is done. Okay, slowly we will proceed. So, have you understood the defects properly?
Yes, auntie, understood.
Understood the defects properly. Now we will work out the problems on this, and we will study. Go further, because I am going to send you I told you, MCQs paper. All of you give your mail ID. I'll send you that paper. You answer that, you will know how much you have to learn in solid state. Actually, solid state chapter, they ask very difficult questions. You have to learn a lot. The textbook material is not at all enough. Not even 1/4. You have to learn so much. If you want to really compete and learn, like appear for competitive exams and all, not at all enough. Okay, we will do as much as possible. We will do. Write it down. You just write it down roughly, because I'll send you the pics. You can copy it later.
Auntie, 1 minute, auntie. I'll just get my note and come.
Notebook, pen, and you keep the calculator also. Pen and keep the calculator also. I have given you what is root 3, root 2, or root 3 by 4, root 3 by 2, everything I have given. You can use that fraction and multiply. It will be easier. Rishi, did you form the table? Rohit was absent. I cannot ask him. Rishi, did you write the table? You were there. I asked you to write everything. Simple, cubic, BCC, FCC. I asked you to write the lattice points, coordination number, packing efficiency, relationship between D, A, and R. Everything. Put it in a tabular form, and very important. Study that neatly. It's not given in the textbook properly at all. Okay, now we will do. Write down. You came back, Bharadwaj? All of you keep paper, pen, calculator ready. Bharadwaj?
Yes, auntie, I came.
Okay, write down. The radius of an atom of an element is 500 picometer. 500 picometer. If it crystallizes in FCC lattice, what is the length of the side of the unit cell? They are asking edge length. R is given, FCC is given, what is A? They are asking. Do it fast and tell me. You don't need calculator for this. All these are without calculator questions. I don't need this. I don't know.
And the picometer is 10 into 10.
Minus 12 meter. Minus 10 centimeter, minus 12 meter. But you don't convert, okay? Unless you have some other parameter there which has got different unit, you can keep it in picometer only.
And so 500 into 2 root 2.
Yes. I have given that value also. No, you can do that. No. What is root 2?
1.414.
1.4. What is root 3?
1.73.
1.732. I've given that. Okay. Now just multiply 500, 2 and 1.4. You don't need calculator for this. Bharadwaj will answer this. I can see him on first. Next to Krupa, then Rishi, then Rohit. What's the answer, Bharadwaj?
Auntie, is it 1414, Auntie?
Correct. 141. 500 into 2 into 1.414. 1414. Correct. Next, Krupa. A solid AB has CSCl type structure. That is, CSCl type means what? What is CSCl type? I have given this, told you this.
The square cubic.
No. NaCl is FCC, CSCl is BCC, body centered, coordination number 8. This is what is very important here. And number of particles per unit cell is only 1 for CSCl. For NaCl it is 4. I'll prove that. What are the things occupied, why it is 4, everything I'll tell you. This is what you have to learn. So when I say CSCl, it is BCC. Okay. Coordination number 8. A solid AB has CSCl type structure. Edge length is 404 picometer. For A is 404 picometer. Calculate the distance of closest approach between A plus and B minus ions. What you have to find out, Krupa?
It should be find D.
D. Do it. What is the formula?
Root 3a by 2.
2A.
Root 3a by 2. Very good. Root 3a by 2. Do it. You don't need calculator. I think you can manage without calculator. Just try. At least nearest you can do it.
Auntie, I found, Auntie.
Wait. It is Krupa's turn. Krupa, do it without calculator. Let me see.
Auntie, I'm getting 349.8.
Correct. Did you use calculator?
No, Auntie.
No. Very good. Try to do it without calculator. Very good. Now Rishi. An element E crystallizes in BCC. Okay. A is edge length. A is 1.469 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter.
Auntie, can you repeat from first, Auntie?
An element E crystallizes in BCC. Okay. Edge length of the cell is 1.469 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. They have given the density. I don't think you need density. Calculate the atomic radius of this element. R. You have to find out R. Rishi, try to do it without calculator, at least approximate. Okay, I repeat. An element E crystallizes in BCC structure. Okay, body centered. If A is 1.469 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter, calculate the radius R, atomic radius of this element.
Auntie, can I use calculator for this?
Try to do it without calculator. Because I have given what is root 3a by 4, root 3 by 4. What is root 3 by 4, Kripa?
0.707.
That is radius.
Yes, Auntie. D, Auntie, you're asking.
No, I am asking R.
R only, Auntie. R is only 0.707. A.
BCC pa. R will be BCC 0.433. Root 3 by 4 is point.
Auntie, you said that for
Auntie, that is for
FCC.
FCC, you told, Auntie.
No, I have
Yes.
derived this. Root 3a by 4 for BCC.
Auntie, you told 0.433 for FCC, Auntie.
Yes, Auntie.
Hey, no, pa. I have derived this. For root 3 by 4a is 0.433. It is for BCC. I think while writing the chart, I think I interchanged. But I have derived this. R and A I have derived. So please interchange that. For BCC, it is root 3a by 4. Root 3 by 4 is 0.433. FCC, a by root 2 or a by 2 root 2. R. I think while writing the chart in a hurry, I have interchanged it. BCC, always remember root 3 a by 4. But still, I think it is difficult to multiply. 0.433 into. See, what you can do, Rishi, 1.469 means almost 1.5. If you keep it like that, almost 1. Correct. 6.36, you are correct. But I am telling without calculator. See, 0.433 and half of that you add. 1.5 times, 1.5 times. Divide it by 2 and add half of that. It will come around 6. Approximately, at least you can know the answer. That's what I am saying. Okay. Actually, you will have lot of problems. I saw in the MCQs on this one, octahedral and tetrahedral voids. Oh my god, so many questions I saw.
Auntie, what is the answer, Auntie?
6.36 into 10 to the power of minus 11 meter.
Auntie, I'm not getting, Auntie.
Not getting.
I'm getting 7.317.
1.469 into 0.433.
1.469 into 0.433, no, auntie. I am getting 7.317, auntie.
No. Check it up. Krupa, how much you are getting?
Auntie, I didn't use the value. I directly substituted 1.732. In that method, I got the same answer, 6.36 into 10 to the power minus 7.
6.36 only, Bharadwaj. I think you are making some mistake while multiplying. Wait, I will check. I'll check in my. It is 636077, something like that you are getting. What I said was 0.433.
Yes, auntie, I made a mistake, auntie.
You can get the nearest answer. Even if you don't use the calculator, you can get the nearest answer. 6.4 you are getting. That's okay.
Yes, auntie. I made a mistake actually.
That's what. Okay, now Rohit. Rohit has to answer this. Now, write down. You work out more problems on octahedral, tetrahedral voids later. Okay, because there are so many problems on that and very important problems are there. Now, write down. In the mineral spinel, SPINEL, that's a mineral having the formula Mg, Mg magnesium Al2O4. Magnesium MgAl2O4. MgAl2O4. Write it down properly. This is very important because so many questions are like this. Oxide ions are arranged in the cubic close packing. Oxide ions are arranged in the cubic close packing. Okay. Mg2 plus ions occupy tetrahedral voids. Mg2 plus ions occupy tetrahedral voids.
Ma'am, oxide ions are arranged in?
Oxide ions are arranged in the cubic close packing.
Yes, ma'am.
Mg2 plus ions occupy tetrahedral voids. Okay. While Al3 plus occupy octahedral voids. While Al3 plus occupy octahedral voids. Question. What percentage of tetrahedral voids is occupied by Mg2 plus ions? They are asking what percentage of tetrahedral voids is occupied by Mg2 plus ions. Second question. What percentage of octahedral voids occupied by Al3 plus ions? I'm just checking whether did we work out any problems on voids. Yeah, we worked it out. This 1/3. Yeah, we worked out these two problems. I wanted to check. Okay. Rohit, can you answer this because you missed few classes? That's why.
Yes, ma'am. I've not done this topic. I've been trying to cover up organic chemistry.
Okay. Okay, you tell me whenever it's possible. When you are fine, I will explain this chapter. It's difficult. Like if you read the book, it is not much information is given.
Okay, ma'am.
I will
Definitely.
take one class. Okay. Who can
Yes,
answer
ma'am.
this? Krupa, Rohit, Rishi, Bharadwaj, all the three of you have attended all the classes. So I think one of you can answer this. I'll give next problem to Rohit. Who can answer this?
Auntie, I don't know, auntie.
Krupa?
No, auntie, and I'm not sure.
Rishi?
And which formula we should use? Auntie?
Get the question now. What happened, Rishi? See, Rishi, I'm saying you have the formula. See, whenever this is what is very important in this, I have to explain to you how to know formula and how many are occupied, voids occupied. I will explain that in the next class properly. I'll take few crystals. I'll explain that. Then you will be able to understand neatly how it is occupied. Okay, so now what you have to know here is, you see the formula MgAl2O4 is there. So that means what? You have CCP means it is FCC. CCP, FCC same. So what is Z effective in FCC? Rishi? He has attended all the classes. Rishi, what is Z effective in FCC? How many particles per unit cell in FCC? Bharadwaj Krupa? This I explained it so many times. 4, correct. In simple cubic it is 1, 8 into 1 by 8. In BCC it is 2, 8 into 1 by 8 plus body center, 1 plus 1. In FCC it is 4. Why 4? 8 into 1 by 8 plus 6 phase atoms into 1 by 2. They contribute half. So 3 plus 1, 4. So if you have 4 Z effective, if it is 4, I have told you this, there will be, if there are n atoms, n octahedral voids, 2n tetrahedral voids. So 4 octahedral voids, 8 tetrahedral voids. Okay, so you will have oxide are forming CCP. Oxide are forming CCP means there are 4 oxide ions per unit cell. So 4 oxide ions means 4 octahedral voids, 8 tetrahedral voids. Out of which they are saying magnesium occupies tetrahedral void. So magnesium only 1 atom. So 1 out of 8 it is occupied by magnesium. Calculate the percentage. And two aluminium atoms according to the formula. So 2 they are occupying octahedral voids. So 2 octahedral voids out of 4, 1 is occupied out of 8. Calculate the percentage. For 100 how much you have to calculate. So many problems are of this type. You have to know this. Solid state is really tough, and textbook information is not at all enough. There is nothing solid material at all there. You have to work a lot on solid state if you want to score very good marks in competitive exams. Okay, so now calculate. Now calculate. Oh, why Rishi left? Okay, Bharadwaj, you answer.
Only 1 minute, Auntie.
This you don't need any calculator. There is no calculation as such. It is all mental calculation. That's all. 2 out of 4. That means half of it. So what is the percentage? 50%.
50%, Auntie.
1 by 8. What is 1/8 of 100?
12.5.
12.5. This is all just ticking. That's all. Chemistry you can do it very fast. You can save the time for physics and maths. Okay. So 12.5%, 50%. Like that only they will give you how many tetrahedral voids occupied, how many octahedral. I'll explain that in the next class. For NaCl, CaCl, ZnS, I'll explain that. Then you will be able to apply it to all the crystals. Okay. Now we will work out problems on radius ratio. Okay. Radius ratio. So here also you need all the information. You have Z effective though you have to register it properly. Z effective very important. Okay. Now, see I'm telling you why I'm giving you all different tastes. You see the difficulty, difficulty in the level of difficulty in the problems. It will be very tough actually. That's why I just want to give you different problems. Okay, now write down a solid A plus B minus, a solid A plus B minus has NaCl type closed packed structure. NaCl type closed packed structure. Okay, NaCl type it has. Okay. Oh, for that also I have to explain NaCl, how NaCl. Okay, I'll try. If the anion has a radius of, anion has a radius of 241.5 picometer. Anion has a radius of 241.5 picometer. What should be the ideal radius of the cation? What should be the ideal radius of the cation? Okay. Can a cation of radius 50 picometer, 50, of radius 50 picometer be fitted into the tetrahedral hole of the crystal? Be fitted into the tetrahedral hole of the crystal. So how will you do this? How will you do this? Bharadwaj, Krupa, I cannot ask Rohit because he has missed that derivation also, he has missed. How did we derive? What did we derive? Radius of the octahedral hole is equal to 0.414 times radius of the ion. Radius of the tetrahedral hole is equal to 0.225 times the radius of the ion. So what you have to do now? What you have to do now? See, smallest will be tetrahedral hole. Largest will be octahedral hole. So, for that, if you take it in the cation-anion ratio, R plus will be 0.414 times radius of the anion. If it is occupying tetrahedral hole, and if it is occupying tetrahedral hole, this is octahedral hole and this is tetrahedral hole. What you have to do now? You have to multiply point. This is the upper limit, this is the lower limit. Okay, multiply both. Okay, you will get the radius of the octahedral hole and radius of the tetrahedral hole in that structure. Radius of the anion is given. Now, what they have asked, if a cation of 50 picometer can be fitted. See if that comes in this range. If it is smaller, it can occupy. If it is bigger, it cannot occupy. They are asking whether it can occupy tetrahedral hole. You need not calculate first one also. Just calculate the second one. See the radius of this R plus. If it is smaller than, that is, if it is more than 50, that ion can occupy. If it is less than 50 picometer, that ion cannot occupy. Okay, do it. Do it. What you have to do? You have to multiply radius of the anion by 0.225. See whether you are getting more than 50 or less than 50. That's all. Do it. How much you are getting?
Auntie, is it 100 picometer?
No, no, no. I'm asking tetrahedral hole, not the octahedral hole. Tetrahedral hole. Tetrahedral hole, what is the formula? 0.225.
Auntie, is it 54.3?
54.3. That means what? Hole is bigger or the ion is bigger?
It is greater than 50. So,
Greater than 50. That means hole is bigger. So this ion can easily fit into that.
okay.
If it was more than 54.3, then it cannot fit in. Okay. Since it is less than 54.3, the cation C plus can fit into the tetrahedral void. But it will not be exactly fitting in. There will be some space left. Okay. Understood?
Yes, Auntie.
Okay. Write down now. A solid AB has NaCl structure. A solid AB has NaCl structure.
The next question, Auntie.
Next question. AB has NaCl structure. If the radius of the cation A plus, if the radius of the cation A plus is 170 picometer, calculate the maximum possible radius of the anion B minus. Calculate the maximum possible radius of the anion B minus. Many questions are there on this also. What does that mean? See,
We have to.
anions will form the packing and cations occupy the holes. Maximum size of the hole will be octahedral void hole. Okay, so maximum size will be 0.414 radius of the anion.
And so 170 by 1.414.
0.414. Why 1.4?
0.414.
0.414. Find out that will give. Very good, correct. Like that you have to think. Actually, next class I will tell you how the actual form, what are the number, that's very important, number of particles per unit cell. I'll calculate for 3-4 crystals and show it to you, different types. Learn it very well. I'll send the pic of all this, whatever I have written it down, you write it down. If I see, I'll see her, send her notes also. I can just check how much she has written. What is the answer?
Auntie, I'm getting 410.6 Auntie.
Correct, 410.6. That is the maximum possible radius of the anion. Learn the radius ratio properly. That radius ratio range, you learn it properly. Next class we'll work out problems on radius ratio. Many problems are there. Then I will explain to you how to calculate the number of particles per unit cell in NaCl, ZnS, CF, different types. AB type plus 1 type, plus 2 minus 2 type, and AB2 type. A2B is also there, but I will teach you AB2 type. Very important. Many questions I have seen on that. Actually, not only that CCP, they ask HCP. I saw questions on SCP. I have given you that defective also for HCP. Learn that. I have sent the notes. In the notes also I have written that. That also question I saw. Okay, learn that also properly. I will explain that in the next class, and we'll work out problems on radius ratio, and that will finish the chapter. And even the stoichiometry, that defects problems are also there. Defect problems, how many vacancies occupied, it is doped with so many moles, all that. We'll work out few problems on that also, so that we will complete. How to calculate, I'll teach you. It's very interesting. Now to know that, we'll teach you that. Another one class, I think we can finish it off. Next class, what shall we do? Shall we do biomolecules or shall we finish off solid state? You tell me.
Auntie, if we have only a last part in biomolecules, we'll finish that itself, Auntie.
I have only the structure of proteins and nucleic
Proteins
acids.
and nucleic acid. And then we'll finish that. Then we'll have only solid state to finish.
Solid state, I need 1 or 2 classes. You can finish it off. No problem. Then either I can start the second term portion or I can revise it once. All the chapters, whatever you have for the first term. I can revise the MCQs, that is fill in the blanks, statement, assertion, all that I can, multiple choice, everything I can revise.
And we'll finish biomolecules, Auntie, on Wednesday.
We'll finish off biomolecules on Wednesday.
And then Friday, we'll do solid state, this remaining programs.
If I finish off earlier biomolecules, I'll start off with Wednesday only. I'll start off with solid state. Let us not waste time. So I think this week we'll complete the first term portion, assuming that we'll complete. Next week, what we will do? I'm asking.
Auntie, we'll revise, Auntie.
We'll revise. You
yes,
do revision.
Yes, Auntie.
Okay. I will revise all the chapters. First term chapters I will revise. Okay, one class I think it should be enough. After that, I will start with second term. Is that okay?
Auntie, your voice broke, Auntie. What did you tell?
See, I will revise all the first term portions, one class. Okay.
Okay, Auntie.
Then we'll start with second term. Have you all answered book back properly?
Auntie, it's full of...
Yes, ma'am, most of it.
Most of it. Very good. Krupa?
No, Auntie, it's all like big problems. So I was doing all 1 mark MCQ kind of questions.
Yes, Auntie. In my school also, they told to practice only 1 mark, Auntie. So I was just practicing that.
Okay. But go through, ma. Go through everything. Don't leave anything. Okay. So we will revise the chapters. We'll start from... shall we start from physical only?
Okay, Auntie.
Physical we will do. Then we will do inorganic, P block. Then we will do organic. We'll finish off the how much ever possible. It's not possible to do everything because we'll do it at the end, because we'll have papers and we can work it out. And if I can send few papers, I will send. Okay.
Auntie, can we start revision with organic?
Okay. But you should be thoroughly prepared. You should come prepared. That's very important. Okay, come prepared, we will do. We'll do revision organic only. I will start with all haloalkanes, then alcohols, phenols, ethers, and then biomolecules. We'll finish off the revision. Revision will finish off, then we'll do P block, then we'll do physical and finish off the revision work. But if you should come prepared for the class, then only you can learn. You can do it fast. Okay? We'll continue in the next class. Next class, solid state, no, Bharadwaj? Or
And no, Auntie, biomolecules.
Biomolecules. Okay, biomolecules.
Ma'am, on Wednesday at 5:30, right?
5:30, yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you, ma'am.